Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rants. Oh, my headphones are dying. Welcome back to another episode of Rants About Tech Live, episode number 131 for this Tuesday, July 29th. And yes, eInk, you made it to Tuesday. You made it. You made it. We got one more day to hump day, and we're off to the end, the tail end of the week, sailing off into the weekend. How's it going out there, you guys? Any big eInk news or tech news? Don't be afraid to throw that right in the chat. We'll talk about it. Again, we have our call-in function that's going to be up and ready here. I actually have it up today, and my headphones are ready. So we're good to go today. So if you feel the need, at some sections during the show, we'll go to the Discord where we have the call-in event channel, and you can pop in the event channel, link in the description, and you can speak your piece on live if you want to. If you have anything to say about anything we talk about today, or you have your own opinion about something, we're going to have that available for you. How's it going out there today, though, guys? Today in Philadelphia, here where I am, it is nice and sunny. I hope you guys are enjoying some nice weather where you are. Be careful out there today, though. There is a heat flash going across the U.S. right now. It's going to be probably over 100 degrees here in Philadelphia. And if it's that hot here, it's probably going to be even hotter elsewhere, like in the South, on the West Coast. So if you're in those parts of the country, definitely take care today. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like in other parts of the world today. But if you're in a part of the world where it's getting hot, take care today. It's supposed to be a scorcher. Supposed to be a scorcher. I'm definitely hitting the pool today. the pool's excuse me. The pool's got to get done today for sure. Let's go ahead and go up to the things we got to talk about. The holidays, as we normally do. Today's National Lasagna Day. I'm a vegetarian, but I enjoy some good lasagna. I enjoy some good lasagna every now and again. National Lipstick Day. I mean, I'm not a lipstick wearer, but, you know, if that applies to you, you go right ahead and do what you got to do. International Tiger Day today. Only thing I have to say about tigers is the Tiger King. That was an awesome show. If you haven't seen that, check it out on Netflix. It's awesome. But yeah, bringing awareness to all of those things. Lasagna, lipstick, and tigers. We're good to go on that. Let's get the applause going for the chat here. And everyone that we have in the chat, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here. We got Aaron in the chat early. We got eInk in the chat early. And we also got Parmesan. Awesome name. I'll say that a lot, but it is an awesome name. In the chat early as well. Day one closer to Friday. National Crystal Nib Day. Oh, snap. It's going to be, we got to deem it. August 1st, National Crystal Nib Day, for sure. we got to coin that term. All right, you guys, let's go right into the tech news shop. All right, just jumping right into some tech news. Just some things I thought interesting for today. We don't have a whole lot interesting things happening in the tech sector today, but we're going to talk about the things we do have. Liquid glass impressions are in. I'm not sure how many of you have the option to try liquid glass. It's Apple's new design language for their unified operating system. So they're trying to unify all the different operating system looks and features with this new OS 26 design language, and they are calling it liquid glass. My brother has it. He hit me up and was like, dude, I'm not impressed. He's like, I'm not sure if you've seen it. I'm not sure if you had a chance to play with it. I haven't. I have no interest. He's like, I'm not impressed. He's like, I don't see the hubbub. I'm like, dude, to me, to me, the here we go. Let's go to a graphic here. To me, the liquid glass, the liquid glass thing is more about unifying features to me. That I don't how it looks. I'm convinced Apple can't make a good operating system to save their life anymore. I'm convinced. Once there was a guy that used to be in charge of UI over at Apple before Johnny Ive took over. I'm forgetting his name. He looked like Steve Buscemi. Let's look at Steve Buscemi. I spelled it wrong, but you get it. The dude who used to run the UI sector over at Apple before Johnny Ive was a guy that looked like Steve Buscemi. I don't know his name. Matter of fact, let's look up who ran. Oh, before Johnny Ive. Maybe we'll find out. Who replaced? No, who did Johnny Ive replace at Apple? There we go. Because whoever this guy is, no, this wasn't the guy. I don't know the dude's name. He was a cool looking dude. Remind me of Steve Buscemi. But through any event, Apple hasn't had a good UI design since Johnny Ive left. Johnny Ive was put in charge of it after the previous guy left Apple for whatever reason. I think he botched it. I think he got fired because he botched a release of one of the iPhones. But anyway, Johnny Ive took over. Johnny Ive gave the iPhone a look that lasted for 8 years at least, 9 years maybe. And it hasn't changed since Johnny Ive took over design. And Johnny Ive left Apple a long time ago. So the Apple UI has not been the same since Johnny Ive left, which is why it's been so static and so bland for so long. They're like lost. They don't even know what to do. They don't have a real UI designer over there at Apple. It looks like I could be wrong, but the way their UI has been going over the years, there's no one that can take the place of Johnny Ive over there. So anyway, here we are. I don't think that this liquid glass is about the graphical thing for me. For me, it's just about the features, them unifying features. Key point. Them taking the iPad and giving the iPad as many features as it did to kind of unify its look, right? So the iPad has windows like the Mac. It has a cursor like the Mac. It has a file system like the Mac. It has a dock like the Mac. I mean, to me, that's the unifying thing with liquid glass. Who cares what it looks like? It's going to be trash. Okay, they have no one over there that can hold a candle to Johnny Ive, so it's going to be trash. Don't look at it like I'm getting some graphical upgrade. Look at it like I'm getting features that would not normally be here if they weren't integrating things like they are now. That's the draw of the new OS 26, not the liquid glass aspect of it, the unifying features. The unifying look, okay, cool. It's a trash look, so who cares if it all looks trash? It's going to. As long as the features that they bring are unifying all of those different operating systems, that's going to be the key. And I think that's what they're doing here. No one's speaking about that just yet. Everyone's like, oh, this looks like trash. And I get that. It's jarring. But we'll get to a point to where people will start looking at the features, and that's when things will get interesting with this new OS 26 from Apple. Let's go to the chat real quick. Steve Hankey has the easiest job in the world. Dude has redesigned Mac hardware once and went off to the golf course. Absolutely. When you've worked for Apple for an extended period of time, you can retire after a certain point. You only still working because you the passion, right? Not money. Design something, Evan. Oh yeah. So Owen says he has something to say. Let's see what Owen has to say on this topic. Let's go over to the Discord, Owen. Oh, is it there? Oh, all right. I'm in the event channel by myself, Owen. Oh, what happened? Or maybe I didn't see it. That was a couple of minutes ago. But you guys get the point. I think it's going to be a feature thing. I don't think it's going to be a graphical thing that is going to be the upgrade. All right. Next thing we have here, if you guys do want to say something, jump over into the Discord event channel. Discord link down in the description. A link straight to the event channel in the Discord is also in the description. So you can do that there. But when you get there and you want to say something, throw your hand up so I'll know that. Once I see your hand up, I'll see it and know, hey, this person wants to say something, because I can't invite you to talk without that option being enabled. Or if you let me know in chat you want to talk, I can pick you to talk if you let me know that way. However you want to do it's cool with me. Yeah, do that. Update Discord, Owen. Get your Discord updated. All right, let's go on to the next story we got here. The next story we got up here is going to be Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses revenue tripled over the last year. And this is something I could have predicted. Revenue sales from Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses more than tripled over year, revealed Monday as part of the company's most recent earnings report. Luxottica? Luxottica? Dude, I'm lost with this naming. Do we see this? There's no way these group of letters should be following each other. Excelsior, Luxottica. One more time, chat. Excelsior? Essilor? Essilor. There we go. Essilor, Luxottica. Oh, I got it eventually. Here we go. Said the success of Ray-Ban Meta glasses contributed to its first half overall sales of 14.02 billion euro. That's 16.25 billion in US dollars if you're keeping track, which represents a 7.3% year-over-year jump. CNBC reported in June that Meta and Luxottica plan to debut a Prada branded version of its smart glasses in the future. Whoa, Prada AI glasses? Now, like I said, I could have predicted the explosion of AI glasses, especially the Meta Ray-Bans. So first of all, we talked. Was it earlier this week? We talked last week about the Oakleys, the AI Oakleys, the Meta Oakleys, right? And I like who cares, right? And as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care about those Oakleys. For one, yeah, it's got better battery life, but it's not doing 4K video. And if you're going from 1080p, which is what these do, got the 1080p going. The next iteration, the next thing that looks good is 4K. There's a reason we have 4K TVs and not 3K TVs. I mean, there's a discernible difference, but there's not a huge jump until you get to 4K in the visual quality. So glasses that do 3K, who cares? 1080p, good enough for me. Matter of fact, we got 1080p right here. We got 1080p right here. I mean, that's 60 frames. This is 60 frames a second, so it looks really good. But that's 1080p. This right here, 720. You can get away with 720. 720 still looks good. But the point is, 3K, who cares? It's like you're just doing it to be doing it. Like, we can't do 4K, but what can we do? We could do 3K, boss. We could do 3K. I admit, it's not as good. It's going to look crappy compared to 4K. And if you're comparing it to 1080p HD, it's the bump is minimal. We should still do it though, boss. We should still do the 3K, even though it's not. People care about numbers, not visuals. They had that conversation. But the point is, I don't think that's a big enough deal. So who cares about the Oakleys? I don't care. These are way good enough. The only thing I would buy the Oakleys. Oh boy. We lost me. Why did we lose me? How did we lose me? Oh boy. Oh, chat, I don't know what happened. Oh boy. YouTube has failed me. YouTube failed me. Oh, are we back? I think we're back. I must have had an internet glitch of some kind. YouTube failed me for a second. Dude, I'm calling my internet provider and be like, listen, dude, whatever we're doing, we need to up it. We need to up it about 100%, okay? Whatever that is. All right, we're moving on. So I'm not really, I could have guessed this. I've always said that the best use of AI, the best wearable for AI is going to be glasses. I've been saying it for a long time, which is why I never bought into the AI pins, which is now why I never bought into like the other AI things. Yeah, Oakley heard me ragging on him. They were like, pull the plug on this guy ASAP. Pull the plug. Like, I don't like the Oakleys. The thing for me is the adoption of the Meta Ray-Bans were because they were working with the Ray-Ban. If they had been working with Warby Parker, none of this would have happened. You know what I mean? None of this would have happened because they partnered with a brand that people like the way their glasses look already, and people are already wearing glasses. Like when you throw AI in something that people are already using, that's a no-brainer. It's on your face. It's right by your ears. You can hear. It's on your face, so it's showing your perspective. It's showing the AI your perspective on things. This is the perfect implementation of an AI wearable, glasses. And another thing, if OpenAI, if whatever they're concocting with Johnny Ive over there, whatever collaboration they're working on over there, if this AI wearable we're working on isn't a pair of glasses, they're shooting themselves in the foot. There's nothing that they could bring to the table that glasses can't do and do better. And from any other part of your body, in my opinion. Let me know, chat. How do you feel about it? Do we Oh, okay, I'm good now. How do we feel about this? Do we care at all, chat? My main concern is how it looks, because it wouldn't have gotten mainstream adoption if it didn't look good, right? If they looked crazy, or if they didn't look as good, this wouldn't be a thing. Yeah. Parm said you started talking 4K video and your bandwidth started getting nervous. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna get through this live though, chat. But the point is, you get what I'm saying. Oh, I'm in Discord. Okay, let's check it out. Hopefully, you know what? Let's see how this sounds. We're gonna go over to the call-in section. We got a call in from Owen. Let's see here. There we go.
Hey, man.
Owen, can you hear me, Owen?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh boy, let's go over to the Discord.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, Owen, I can't hear you if you're talking. Hold on, let me make sure my headphones are good.
Okay.
This could be totally me, Owen. It is. It's totally me.
It's totally you.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, we're good now. So we're good. All right, so we can hear you, Owen. Go ahead and say what you got to say, brother.
It's funny you're talking about the glasses again right now, because I was watching a YouTube creator called Dank Pods just today. Actually, he was reviewing Google glasses, and it reminds me how far they've come since
Oh
having that
man, you said
awkward,
Google glasses.
yeah, the awkward
Yeah,
block of
I remember those.
prism above your eye.
Yep.
Like, and now we're sort of like at the point where sort of like they're chasing trends, they're trying to sort of like figure out. And I think this is the design overall with technology at the moment. We've kind of hit a bottleneck where the technology and the aesthetics of it are trying to reconcile with each other, while technology is trying to move forward again, and society isn't ready for it. And it's like we're kind of not breeding. What's the word? We're grooming people for it, because we're already talking about things like super intelligence and
Mm,
things like that. The next step for AI, where it's important for things like glasses to be useful, is that the AI on board with our phones and with our watches and with our glasses and things like that, whatever you choose to use to interact with technology, needs to be conversational. It needs to be a two-way conversation,
mm-hmm.
which is what I was getting at with conversation a while back on Discord, when we're talking about your AI being personal to you and having access to your things like your bank details and things like that, so it can tell
Yeah,
you
that's
how
going to
much
be
it
integral.
has. Yeah. But people are kicking back on that right at the moment, because we're trying to grapple with the idea of technology. The fundamental point here is that in order to get that leap that we want to make as a society, we have to reconcile that we have to surrender some degree of privacy to the businesses that we access.
Absolutely, and that's why I say all the time, people, and I mention on the live all the time. I don't really, I say it all the time. I don't really care about my data privacy like that, and I say that, I don't say that lightly, right? I say that from years of thinking about it and stressing about it and worrying about it and trying to circumvent a lot of the things that companies put in place to try to keep my data safe. And I started to realize, like, okay,
I,
there's
I
a
think that's the shift, though. You're what? You're like me. You're like approaching your 50s.
yes,
So, so for us at this point, we're just like, I don't give a crap. Just
right,
make my life easier. That's
yep,
where we are. The younger generation are like, what about my privacy? What about my rights? And the thing is that when you're young and idealistic, you care about those things more because you have an idealistic
mm,
view of how the world should be.
right.
The truth is that these companies already hold the cards anyway. They already have access to your data. It's just
You're
the
exactly
the
right.
the essence, the importance is how they disseminate that data. So as long as you know that your bank details are secure and it's like it's a secret between the marriage of covenant between the bank and yourself,
Yep.
it doesn't matter as long as the government doesn't have access to those things. Except in the case of law enforcement, it shouldn't matter.
hmm and that's where the line kind of gets sketchy when you talk about it should be private with the exception of people who are keeping the law and order. But that could easily be the government in some cases. You know what I mean? So it gets sketchy when you do that. But still, even considering those things, I still think how you think. They already have my data. As long as you're giving me
Yeah.
something useful for my data, like organizing my data in a useful way, like what I hope that Google eventually does one day is they start presenting my data to me in a way and at times that's useful for me. You know what I mean? So as
Yeah.
long as things like that are happening, like you said, the marriage in between someone giving their data up and the people holding the data, there's got to be some give and take there.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like the reason why I jumped on was because you were talking about the Apple hardware design just as I came in, and
Hmm.
the thing of it is that Steve Jobs always talks about technology being a slab of glass. That's the point of liquid glass. That's a very subversive way of paying tribute to him as they come into what is it, the 25th anniversary of the
Yeah,
Lisa or whatever.
but you know what?
It's
I didn't know that,
what.
so thank you for that tidbit of information. If people who don't know what the Lisa is, could you explain what that is?
Well, the Lisa is like the successor to the Apple II computer, which is
Mhm.
easily the most important computer in Apple history. But Lisa is where they started leaning into the idea that technology should be accessible, that it should be a part of your life as opposed to something that's sat in the corner and
Mhm.
just be a beige box.
Do you, do
Jobs
you
hated that
do you,
idea.
do you remember why he called it the Lisa?
It was his daughter.
Yeah, I thought that was so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, I think that's very sweet, especially for a guy who was very calculating,
Hmm. Well,
very
it's funny
very
we talk
cold.
about the Apple IIc or the two. My brother actually, when he was younger, had an Apple IIc, which he didn't know what it was at the time. We look back on it now, like, dude, you had an Apple IIc, bro.
I mean, we romanticize it, but it was a heap of shit. Sorry about the bad language, but it was a genuinely bad computer. It was slow, it was
Mhm.
cumbersome. It ran on the Motorola 6800, 6800, 68. Yeah. It ran on the same hardware as your Commodore 64. It was a genuinely bad computer,
Mm.
but it
Well,
was
it
important
was more
because
about the feel and
yeah,
the accessibility.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. The Lisa was the first stepstone into something different. I don't think that, we would have the Mac G3, without the Lisa. I
Hmm.
don't think that we would have. any of the concepts, the design concepts that Steve Jobs moved towards wanting. And I don't think we would have had the people pulled together to actualize those ideas of what he wanted, the Johnny Ives of the world, things like that, without the Lisa. I think that
Mm-hmm.
that gave him the apparatus, the ability to work with people to be able to pull those people together, much like Gates did over at Microsoft.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well,
I think at this
on
point,
those lines, Duroc put into this put in the just real quick. He put it in the chat. Luxottica, I think that's how you say it,
I'm,
owns both Ray-Ban and Oakley, so it's money in both their pockets. Very interesting take on that. I didn't know that. Thanks, Rock.
I'll have to find you a link sometime because Luxottica actually owns a lot of glasses brands, so they have a
Mm,
vested interest. But
interesting.
this is the thing about wearables. The thing is that's where things are moving from, because the reason I'm bringing up Jobs is because we're moving past his idea of the future being that slab of aluminium that Google and Apple find themselves at the moment.
Hmm.
Where it becomes less about the apparatus, and it becomes more about being a lifestyle component. You know,
Good point. Good point.
as as a species, we're finding ways to move technology to work with us. And people contest that idea because they don't see it. They don't see the long view.
Hmm.
The long view is that.
Now go ahead.
Sorry,
Go
go ahead.
ahead. This transitions into what I'm going to say next. So go ahead and say that.
Yeah, okay. And now I'll go. The way we interact with technology is very much evolving. Which, your one wheel thing. It's it's an evolution of what's that two wheeled thing? The Segway.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
It's an evolution of that because it's easier to get around for some people and
Hmm.
things like that. It's again, it's going to be interesting seeing the next 30 years and the way people evolve with their relationship with technology, because AI will be more conversational. It will be a super intelligence.
And
We're
that
just
goes
not
into
there
another
yet.
story that I want to talk about. You touched on two things that I wanted to talk more about today. And so
Sorry, man.
I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to continue the conversation with what we were talking about. But later on, if you're still here and you want to chime in on this other topic that I'm going to bring up that you just kind of hinted on, feel free to jump back in, brother.
All right.
All
I'll
right,
be in
talk to you
chat.
soon, man. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
All right, so thanks for Owen for joining the call-in section there. Again, it's been working pretty good, so we got that going. I'm glad we can bring that to people, and it's good to get different perspectives, a live different perspective. So thank you, Owen, for joining the event channel for that. So one of the things that we hinted on during that conversation was ways that we're going to use technology in the future, and how this UI thing of Apple, the liquid glass, plays into that. Now, Apple does things in a very, very calculated way. Now, though I don't like the graphical aspect of this liquid glass, and I don't think that it's hitting like Apple wants it to, I do think that it's preparing us for a glass future, a slab of glass, like Owen said, future. That was Steve Jobs' vision, right? When he his long game vision. Um, though I don't like the way it looks, it's in a glass, all glass solution. The transparencies that they're putting in place, all of the transitions that they're putting in place, the sparkling chamfered edges that they're putting in place. I think all of that is setting us up for a future to where we can use AR, an AR future, where things are just transparent. Like you'll have to be able to see behind particular windows to see the rest of your environment. At least that makes it easier to to stomach, right? Living in an AR world, if you can still see your environment around you, but still have access to certain visual tools or virtual tools, I think that's going to be key. But liquid glass, I think, is definitely setting us up for a glass future, and maybe a AR future, right, where we need this kind of overlay, clear overlay UI. But anyway, very, very interesting. Very interesting. So we already talked about the Meta Ray-Bans here. and how I think definitely that Meta, the eyeglass AI, no matter who brings it to the market and how good anyone can make it, I think the eyeglasses is the best way to bring wearable UI or wearable AI to the masses. And I think Meta hit really a gold mine with the Meta Ray-Bans, and not just because of the AI in glasses, but because they partnered with a a maker who people liked wearing their glasses anyway. Like I was already a Ray-Bans wearer, so me buying a pair of Meta Ray-Bans was like a no-brainer, right? I have a pair of Ray-Bans over there. I like the way they look. I bought them because of the way they look. These look like those, but they add extra functionality. Open ear, like when I'm riding. Oh yeah, was a no-brainer. No-brainer. Let's go to the chat real quick. Aaron said, this is a good conversation. Thanks, Aaron. I think definitely when you get different perspectives together on a topic, agree or disagree, the conversations are usually good. You need to make some shorts of this and repost. I should do that with all my lives. Someone said that someone offered me the service. They're like, I could cut your lives up for you into interesting sections and then post those. He's like, they'll do great. I was like, I should go back and do that. I balked at his idea, but it is a very good idea. I think the glasses would be fantastic for students with attention deficit disorder, or students with auditory processing disorders that are sitting in large lecture halls. Wow, that is a good use case there, Brian. Absolutely, that is a great use case. And just if you're hard of hearing, having this here and AI to where you can, and I'm telling you, the microphones are so good and so well placed in these, I can whisper and it hears me and could do things. So I can be in a lecture hall and whisper something like, hey, Meta, take a picture. Bam. It literally just took a picture and I whispered it. Because the microphones are so good and they're so well placed, like right here in the bridge. It's like they've done such a good job with these things. I mean, it would take no effort for you to really augment what you can do hands free. It's been really great. I gotta say, it's been really great. Shing says, I completely agree, Brian. The more ways I can get info into my brain, the better. Absolutely, Shing. Hearing it and seeing it and then writing it, they say you have to do things 3 times to really get it. I usually, when I'm writing stuff for studying, I write it down 3 times. But hearing it, writing it, there's seeing it. I don't know. There's something good to it. Owen says, technology right now takes you out of the world. Technology in the future will put you in the world. It'll just become a part of your world, right? Shing says, I am not going to hear it the first time, and I will need to review it, no matter how interesting the info is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Rock says, very nice, Owen. I have a different perspective, but appreciate yours. Mine is, we need to view our privacy as currency, trade it for services, but conscious in doing it. And I'm same age of both of y'all. Yeah, like I said, agree or disagree. It's always good to get different perspectives, because you never know. It may jive with your overall view of things and may give you something to think about that you didn't consider before. I say this all the time. My mind changes with new information, right? I mean, just the nature of science. At one point, scientists, didn't think blood carried like communicable diseases or these were things that we didn't think of before. But as we got more information, we got microscopes, we were able to see this world of microorganisms and things that live in this world that we had never seen before, and saw that, yes, blood probably was the reason why we're transferring diseases around. Have doctors wash their hands. Like, we change our opinion with new information, which is how it should go. It may have changed your opinion or perspective, but getting new information never hurts. Owen says, yep, there we go. My issues with Ray-Bans is that there's no display. They're coming. They have displays on the Orion project glasses. And this new, I forgot what they call them, hyper something. They're a cheaper version of the Orion glasses that Meta makes. They have screens. And I was thinking that this morning. I was like, how cool would it be to have a small screen at the bottom of my glasses that I could see something? while I'm like, I can look at it every now and again, just kind of glance over at it. Maybe notifications pop up. Maybe it's playing the news or something. You know, that would be kind of cool. I can't wait for display on glasses. Once that gets to be proven technology, I will buy them. It's coming. Like I said, I saw a lot of those at CES. I wore a lot of them and checked a lot of them out at CES, and I'm telling you, there wasn't one bad pair. They all were good. Now, could they get better? Yeah, but none of them were to a point where I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't use this. And there was one pair that just did transcription, right? And that's the pair I thought, you know, when I saw that, I'm like, out of all the glasses I saw at CES, this would be the one that would take off because it's so specific. And what it's doing isn't that hard to do, but no one's doing it. And it's specific. So you can do a good job at it because you don't have to worry about all these other things. It was just transcribing stuff, different languages, what it heard. Like you could get a transcription from the TV right on your glasses. A friend's talking to you in a different language. You get a transcription of that. You know, it was just brilliant. They never did much with that though. I haven't seen much on that front lately. All right, going into the next story we got here, which is going to be it's a talk piece. When to buy Apple products. Now, this used to be a thing back in the day. When you should buy Apple products, and I remember being an Apple fanboy back in the day and having to go to this one site. Let me see if I can find that site here. And I didn't think that was still a thing. I didn't think it was still a thing to where you like there was a site that would tell you when you should buy and not buy Apple products, or the likelihood of something new coming out soon, or no, this just released, so you should buy it right now. That's still a thing. I don't see that site right off the top though. I forgot what the name of that site was. You guys know what I'm talking about? Any Apple fanboys or girls out there that know what I'm talking about here? Apparently that's still a thing. I heard it this morning when I was getting myself together, and it surprised me. I'm like, oh, people still do this? Sheen says I need subtitles on everything. If I had glasses, the rest of the family would not have to have them on the screen. Oh, good point. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get to this next one though. I thought that was interesting, but I don't have a story on that. Just thought it was interesting, something to bring up. Graduate hiring slows. Now this is very interesting. Can we do it? Do I have this story up here? Yeah, there we go. Graduate hiring slow. So AI is wrecking an already fragile job market for college graduates. Now, this is something I thought was interesting because research on this particular topic. You see that a lot of the entry level jobs is what AI is kind of taking over, right? The mundane, tedious jobs that you know that get entry level work do, like college graduates get. Even high school graduates, you know, they're getting these kind of entry level jobs. But AI's doing those entry level jobs so well till it's drying up that job market for a lot of graduates. And it's like, what do you do if you are a graduate? Because most 9 times out of 10, you're doing the entry level job not because you like doing that entry level job, but because it offers you a foot into the door, right? And you want that foot in the door as a college graduate to get experience. Quick story. I went to the military just to get college experience. Like that's how important experience is, being a college graduate, right? If you're applying for a job that really has no entry level positions, right? You just trying to get a job. I was doing mechanical and architectural drafting. My first time in like learning anything in college. But in doing that, your boy used to be really good at CAD at one point. Like I used to be really good at CAD, so good at CAD that my high school paid for me to go to like this technical school. I was a terrible high school student, but I loved computers, and CAD was on the computer, so that means I love CAD. But I got to college on a drafting scholarship because I was so good at CAD. Now, if you've been following me, you know these days my CAD skills are minuscule. Like I mean, CAD has gotten a lot different over the years too. Like I think I might have been working on CAD 4 or 5 or something like that back in the day. But you get the point. For me, I couldn't get a job for drafting after college. It was like you needed experience. That's why I ended up going into the military, because you needed experience. No one would hire me without. And these jobs, when you get into drafting and especially architectural, I wasn't really that interested in architectural drafting, but the mechanical drafting market was so competitive. So I was like, I'll do architectural, fine. But it was so competitive that they wanted you to have some experience. I'm like, how do I get experience if I can't get a job? You need at least 2 years experience doing this and that. I'm like, okay. My friend was like, I'm going to go into the military and do this and get experience. I got into the military. I didn't step foot in near a drafting table. I got experience with a bunch of weapons though. Anyway, moving on. So I understand it being really hard to get your foot in the door, because that's why you would take an entry-level position. And if they had entry-level positions in the drafting sector like I needed, I would have taken that. If they had a mail room that they were like, we'll hire a drafter to hand out mail, fine, my foot's in the door. I may apply for a job now that I'm here. But if college kids can't do that, what do they do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you say your job requires, how do you get that entry-level job experience when all the entry-level jobs are being taken by AI? How do you make yourself valuable in that case? Let's go to the chat. Owen says, I always look at the Apple Refurb and Amazon Renewed sites first. Oh, absolutely. If you're buying an Apple product, go check out. Apple's got a refurb section in there on their site. Check that out first. You're going to get an excellent device. Apple devices hold their value really well. So, I mean, plus when it's them refurbing their own devices, you know it's going to be in pristine condition. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I've done that many occasions myself. The only way that doesn't work is if you need a real specific set of things in your particular Mac setup. The ones you get refurbed are typically their baseline models, right? Occasionally you'll get one that's been spec'd up a little bit, but it's worth a check, regardless. As a hiring manager, AI can hurt applications in how searches happen. AI pairs a job description with resume. I can't tell how the algorithm thinks they match. Yeah, that's another thing. But people are using AI to apply to jobs too. I know there were stories of this one guy using AI. He applied for like 800 jobs overnight or something like that. He had AI just submitting his resume with cover letters and such. She says that she used AI in hiring the last candidate, but it's not ready for prime time yet. I got some weird resumes that came up. Yeah, I mean there's gonna be a learning curve with it, but eventually it's gonna get good. Let's go to this next story we got here. Actually, you know what? Staying on this story, one more tidbit on this little thing right here is customer facing jobs. That's the one thing I think might be the saving grace of this new or entry level of like graduate students graduating. Like if they can get a customer facing job to where the interactions with people are as important as your skills with technology, because right now AI really can't interact with people on a meaningful way and build relationships, right? I mean, it's at least not yet. In that way, I think if you're in that sector, you might do well coming out of college, and that may not affect those students at all, or those jobs at all. Because think about it: if you're in a job where your job is to make sales, right, and you have to go out and talk and make relationships with people, and they know you and they trust you, that's going to be different, right? AI is not going to be able to do so well in those kind of situations because it's about the relationships, right? And I think in those situations it could be good. Or if you make yourself useful in a way that you find yourself kind of cultivating some of your people skills. In that way you can stay relevant because AI can't replicate that just yet. Whether it's ready or not, LinkedIn uses it already. Absolutely. I mean, everyone uses it now. Like, that's just what it is. It's a cat and mouse game with hiring managers and people who are working with people to submit their applications and their resumes. Moving on though. The next thing we got here is Astronomer Responds to controversy. So I'm not sure if you guys saw this. So we all know about the astronomer thing happening where the tech company Astronomer, the CEO was caught kissing the HR person, and I think they were both fired. But some cool bit of marketing here, thanks to Ryan Reynolds and Gwyneth Paltrow. Ryan Reynolds being the person who owns the marketing firm that came up with the idea for the commercial, and Gwyneth Paltrow for being the person that they paid to deliver said message. So basically, it was a video. We got here. Oh, they don't show that. So basically, it was a video where Gwyneth Paltrow was fielding questions from an audience asking about the controversy between the CEO and the HR person. And instead of answering the question about that, Gwyneth Paltrow would simply answer a question about the company, talking about one of the company's products, talking about the company's policies, talking about the company's growth and things like that. So I thought it was ingenious. I'm not a real big Ryan Reynolds fan, but if he had a hand in that, which I read that he did, that was genius. That was totally genius. All right, moving on here. We got what else we got here? Chat? Anti-gravity. I'm not sure if you guys are into drones, but I'm into cameras, and if a flying thing has a camera, I'm into it. So I am into drones because I'm into cameras. And let's take a look at Insta360's newest drone here. Now, Insta360 doesn't have a drone right now. They just make 360 cameras and action cams, of which I have multiple. I love Insta360. As far as stability goes and getting action cam footage, in my opinion, they are the best. And I've tried GoPro. I've tried many types. If I was surfing, I would do a GoPro. If I was a surfer, but I'm not a surfer. I'm someone who wants actually good footage that doesn't look like crap. So I go with Insta360. Moving on though, Insta360 launches AntiGravity, the world's first 360 drone with true immersive capture. Now I haven't seen this drone, and from my knowledge, no one else has either. But they do have a commercial. So packed into a sub 249 gram form factor, and that 249 grams is a magic number. That just means that qualifies this drone to be a toy and not an actual tool, because at 250 grams, you have to be certified, licensed pilot driver to fly that. But because it's under that 250 gram threshold, any person that wants to fly a drone can fly this thing. So you don't need special certifications for this. But with 8K resolution to match. Now, 8K is important. I got the X5 right now, where I've been recording all of my one wheel videos on. New one wheel videos coming out soon here too. Importing and working with 360 footage is tough, especially when it's in 8K. When it's doing 8K, it's hard. But I do have some 8K and 4K footage that I recorded. It looks really good. I'm going to put it up so the people who are watching the one wheel videos can tell me which one they prefer. But that's coming. So they do really good 360 footage, that I know for sure. On a drone, I don't even know what that would look like. That would be crazy. So introducing as the future of aerial exploration and storytelling, Insta360 has just announced the official launch of AntiGravity, the company's new drone brand. Incubated by Insta360 in collaboration with third parties. I don't know who these third parties are. They must be drone makers, because I know, Insta360 don't have no drone chops. AntiGravity aims to create an entirely new category of aerial drone technology. Let's look at the this brand and how it's set to be the world's first 360 drone and true immersive capture. Let's take a look at the video real quick, shall we?
Gravity. We've been battling it since the beginning.
They don't show the drone at all in this video. This is total artistic.
But every time,
like, why are we making an artistic video? Show me the drone, bruh. This better be drone footage.
We crawl
I mean, we know that's not.
We walk. We climb.
I'm super interested in the 360 drone though.
We
Like what
fly.
that can do and look like.
From paper planes to pioneers, we defy the weight of the world. Turn boundaries into brilliance.
Okay, they don't show
Gravity
the
presses us.
camera.
We press back with purpose.
Oh,
Harder.
propellers. Oh wow, propellers.
Stronger.
Oh, we love propellers. Who cares about a prop? Show me the drone.
We weren't made to stay put.
Oh, now that
We
is
were
interesting.
made to soar.
I tried to
Gravity
follow
may
a
be
bird with
given,
my drone once.
but that doesn't mean
It didn't
we
end well.
have to take it.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Anti-gravity. Drone from Insta360. I'm with it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm all about it. As long as it's not loud, it's crap. Because with a 360 drone, you would think you get all kind of crazy footage, like following footage. And if it's loud, you can't record the sound. That's my problem with drone footage right now. The props are so loud, so I can't use audio with it, and I have to create my own audio, which keeps me from using it like I should. Anyway, anti-gravity, new drone, coming from Insta360. When is this thing coming? Do we have a date for it? Let's see if we got a date for this, chat. According to Insta360, anti-gravity and its upcoming first product are set to launch at a pivotal moment when hardware, software, and user expectations have finally aligned. After years of development, the technology is ready to support a new kind of drone experience. All right, let's take a look. Oh, we have nothing. Yeah, we don't have any details about this thing. Well, if we get any details, chat, I will let you know. But we have no details about this anti-gravity yet. I am super interested, though. I'm super interested in what a 360 drone would be like. Like, I can't, I like, the idea of the footage, just, oh. No, DJI wasn't banned from the US. Not yet, at least. Not yet. There may be some increased restrictions on drone flight though. I was flying my drone the other day and I saw something that I wasn't used to seeing, but then it could have just been the software update. I'll look into that, Aaron. But no, not as far as I know. DJI was not banned in the US. If it was, I've been flying my drone like crazy. So I'm breaking the law. Moving on to the next story we got here. All right, we talked about this a while back. Jack Dorsey's Bluetooth messaging app is now on the App Store. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, to where I was talking about how I thought about an app that could communicate with people that were around you. You wouldn't have to have their phone number to communicate with them. You could just literally have the option to communicate with anyone that was in your area. That's what this app would allow you to do. And it doesn't need internet to do it. So I can still fly my drone. Yeah, you're good to go. Owen says China is doing some crazy stuff with stuff that flies right now. They're selling flying cards over there. Whoa. Yeah, you know what? I'm with that though. Make these drones small. I mean, honestly, chat. You know what I'm really considering buying? A robot dog. I really think about buying a robot dog. This robot dog right here. I'm thinking about buying this robot dog right here. Oh, wow. I was until I looked at the price. And now I'm like, maybe I won't. But this is what I want, chat. So I'm not going to buy this. But this is the robot dog I want. Let me just show this. This is the robot dog I want right here. I want this robot dog so bad. That thing has a 4K camera on it, rolling wheels that it can treat like just regular legs. Like, could you imagine what kind of one-wheel footage I could get with this? This thing would follow me, be able to go sideways, just pass me up, still recording me. Crispy 4K slow-mo. Man, that's what I think of when I see this thing. Something that can record me while I'm doing stuff. You know what I mean? Content. It's all for the content. I love it. I want that thing though. I want it. So that's the camera I want. I want a rolling camera like that. That would be the supreme for me. All right. Anyway, Jack Dorsey, and his BitChat. I want to try this. I'm definitely gonna download this. Give it a try with Amy. See what I think about it. I definitely am excited about this though. We got new gear for our cam at the show. Very excited to fit it on the plane. Whoa. Sheen says Insta360 was all over the air show last week. So many private pilots are creating content, including my pilot and I, that Insta360 has noticed. Oh, it's nice. When you catch the eye of Insta360, that's cool. That's nice. That's dope. That means you create some good stuff. That's what's up. Well, congrats, man. And congrats on the show. And the new cameras. I'm a camera junkie. I love new cameras and new camera gear. Speaking of which, Sony just came out with a new camera, but we won't talk about that. We won't talk about that here. But BitChat. Speaking about BitChat, BitChat's is interesting because, like I said, it's local messaging, so it uses Bluetooth. Let's read what we got here. Earlier this month, Block CEO and Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey unveiled a peer-to-peer Bluetooth-based messaging app he put together. Now, anyone with a compatible iPhone, Mac, or iPad, or even Apple Vision Pro can try BitChat as it's available on the App Store. Dorsey created BitChat under the auspices of other stuff, an open source development collective he has backed financially. Per the free app's description, it allows users to chat with others who are physically close to them without needing to have their email address or phone number, which is exactly what I just got done saying. I think this is awesome, which could make BitChat handy for in-person events. Messages are private and encrypted, while the panic mode function allows you to delete all of your BitChat data with a triple tap. That's interesting. Now, the last I heard, they hadn't figured out the security of this particular app, but I guess now that it's encrypted here, private and encrypted, they've definitely figured out the security aspect of this kind of like near-field communication app. Dorsey said he built BitChat as an experiment on Bluetooth mesh networks, relies and stores and forwards models, message encryption models, and a few other things that. Okay, that was weird. Dorsey said he built BitChat as an experiment in Bluetooth mesh networks, relays and store and forward models. Okay, that wasn't me. They wrote that crazy. The app doesn't need internet access to function, making it a useful option in situations in which authorities block mobile data and Wi-Fi connectivity. Other apps that offer Bluetooth mesh messaging first started appearing over a decade ago. All right, so it's out. Do you guys try it? Let me know how you feel about it. I'm definitely going to try it and let you guys know how I feel about it as well. Let's go into the next story we got here. Dune Awakening players have successfully found... Ooh. Was that the one? Yeah. Dune Awakening players have successfully found Ben and ensured that his base's power is on. Now, I'm not a Dune Awakening player. But when something... we talked about this yesterday, I think. When something happens... in the digital world, in any digital world, that is tied to real world effects or time, I love that. I love that idea. So this is another example of a digital world having ties to the real world in some kind of way. What started as a running joke among Dune Awakening players, such as even Funcom referenced in its own patch notes that has apparently unfolded in a community-wide search for a guy named Ben. a search that has been successfully completed. So Funcom is the people who make Dune Awakening, and they made reference to an in-game conflict in their real-world patch notes. So that's the tie-in here. Yeah, super interesting. Readers not in the know might have tilted their heads about a patch note from Funcom last week that made sure to tell Ben that the power in his base is turned off. Again, I don't know the specifics. I know a base. I know bases need power. Ben must have had his power on and they turned it off for some reason. Whatever. As it turns out, this all started with a post from Redditor Contrador, who was trying to be neighborly and let Ben know about the situation with his in-game home. As these things go, the post went viral for some reason unknown other than the internet exists, leading to Contrador and other attempts to locate Ben directly. So I guess people are trying to contact this in-game person, Ben, letting him know about his in-game base. Okay. I just think it's super interesting. A few days later, Contrador reported in to confirm that Ben's base was powered back up, and finally Ben himself confirmed that he was found. So I guess that he lost power to his base, and someone tried to contact him on Reddit to let him know, hey, your base lost power. And the company who made the game, or that post must have went viral. The company who made the game caught wind of that post and made reference to that whole interaction in their patch notes. Again, this is dumb. Dumb stuff, little stuff, inconsequential stuff. But I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool when when the real world and digital worlds kind of like mesh. When the real world and digital worlds mesh. I think that's so interesting. Anyway, let's move on here. The next things we got up here is going to be some eInk related matters. Let's go ahead and talk about it. All right, chat. We're at the eInk part of the show, and there's a couple of things I wanted to say. Not big news. So if you got some stuff you want to talk about eInk related, throw it in the chat. If you want to do the call in, we got the call in down below. You can hit the link below the event channel in Discord, and it'll take you right to our events channel where you can sit there and let me know you want to talk by putting your hand up. And that's our call in. That's how we do call-ins here. This is the radio show, and we do call-ins. Okay, anyway. So you can do that if you're interested in any of the stories we talk about, or if you have a comment on anything we talked about, or you just want to give your opinion on something. Or say hi. That works too. Yeah, we're in Discord for that. All right, so moving right on. Actually, let me pause myself here. So moving right on. Now, I was talking about my Note Air 4C yesterday, and I'm going to try this on air. So I was talking about the Note Air 4C yesterday, and I'm like, my Note Air 4C note app just wet the bed on me, and it just died. I was drawing, it died, and it never came back up. And then when I tried to reopen the Notes app, all my notes were gone. And the Notes app was like, the Notes app is done working. See you later. Good night. It didn't do that, but it did say the Notes app is not working. Would you like to turn it off? And I was like, yeah, I guess so, because if it's not working, I've been waiting for an update. My Note Air 4C got an update this morning. Oh, boy. I'm hoping that the update fixes my Notes app. We're about to find out, chat. We're about to find out if that update fixed my Notes app. This is the update, mind you, by the way. This is the Note Air 4C update 4.1. This update brought the new tools that we talked about yesterday for the Go 10.3. So all those tools that we talked about yesterday, they're here on the Note Air 4C today. It looks like my Notes app might be fixed, chat. I don't know, but let's see. Okay, so chat, my Notes app is fixed, but I have no notes in it. Like, I've made over a year's worth of notes, and all the notes are gone. But you know what? At least I got the Notes app. It deleted everything. I hope all my stuff is backed up. It literally deleted everything, but we'll see. So now I gotta see if any of my drawings or notes are there. Oh boy, I'm so glad that I have like manual backups happening, PDFs backing up all the time. Because if not, I'd be so upset right now. I'd be so upset right now. So the Note F4C working. The Notes app is up and running, even though I have no notes there. So we'll see what that's about later. It only happens with me the Note F4C. You know, I haven't even checked to see if my notes are backed up on the Go 10.3. Let's find out. Let's check it out, chat. Are my notes on the note or my products? Oh, yep, there we go. There it goes. Hold on, let's see if my latest drawings are there. Let's see if the latest ones are there. Nope. Oh, chat. Oh, I went in with the drawings, chat, and guess what? None of them are here. Oh my Lord. Well, you win some, you lose some. I'll check my drive backups later to see if all my prototype drawings are gone. I'd be so mad if they were, but you know what? That would suit me right for not backing up properly. What do we got in the chat here? It should be on Boox Sync. Your notes, yeah. I think they are backed up. I'm hoping they are anyway. We'll see. Javier. Oh, how's it going, Javier? I have a quick question. When you're writing or taking notes, do you tend to write with a heavy hand or a lighter touch on the screen? I've noticed that I tend to press down pretty hard when I write. I write super hard, Javier. I write super hard. He said the reason for the question is I am wanting to buy a ceramic pen for the Note Max. I wouldn't let how hard you write deter you, because I write super hard. I press down super hard when I write. So, you know, and I've never had a problem. So if that's why you're asking, I think you should be fine, Javier. Thanks for the question, though. Aaron says, this only happens to you with this Note Air 4C. This Note Air 4C has been giving me problems since I bought it. It's never been the perfect machine. I want to get rid of it so bad, but what options do I have, Aaron? Honestly, I need Wacom. I need color. I need a writing surface. This is legitimately the only machine that checks all three of those boxes. I want to choose something else. Believe me, I would have threw this thing in the trash a long time ago. But, what are you going to do? Sheen says she thinks that the pressure can make a big difference on eInk on the tip you use on the software if you don't choose the pressure. Oh, yeah, for the pressure sensitivity, that makes a big difference. If you're someone who writes hard like me, she's absolutely right. You're not going to get the pressure sensitivity of the pressure sensitive pens because it's always going to be writing at the darkest setting. I choose the non-pressure sensitive pens for a bunch of reasons, that being one of them. Yes, Rod, that is why I stuck with the Tab Mini C. Yeah, like the Tab Mini C checks off boxes that no other device can. Same with the Note Air 4C. They just, it's just you gotta have certain devices. I don't want it. I want better, but there just isn't better out there right now. All right, and I think that's all of the eInk stuff. I wanted to let everybody know that my Notes app was still trash. Or still crashing. It's not dead anymore. It's back alive, but it just doesn't have any notes in it. We'll see what that's about. We'll see what that's about. I'm hoping that it's backed up. I really am. I hope it backed up. Anyway, let's go on to the maker part of the show, shall we? Just a couple of DIY stuff. Couple of DIY things here. So what we're gonna talk about here today. We're going to take our handy dandy pink iPhone here and we're going to go, we're going to undo this first. And we're going to go over to the window so we can take a look at some resin coloring that I've been doing. So let's take a look at that. Can we switch over for the resin coloring? iPhone? What? It's not on? Chat, how come the iPhone ain't on? It's supposed to be on. Oh boy. Oh, no, it's Roger's iPhone camera. Oh, it's not working. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're good. Can we hear me, chat? I think we can hear me. All right. So let's go on over here. You're seeing Philadelphia right now, chat. This is Philly. The squirrels are bringing dirt to my window. Don't judge me. Okay, so right here we have two things right here. I got two different oranges baking. Can we see the difference in this orange? I'm not sure if we can see the difference in this orange. Can we? So this is one of the. I actually like this orange right here. Can we see this, chat? Oh boy, can we can't see it. I actually like this orange right here. This orange is pretty cool. It's a little too shiny for me. It's not as muted. But what I wanted to say about these was this. In doing this, oh snap! How did the resin that's in the cups harden before the resin that's in these trays? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I didn't know this, chat, but here we go. Can we see the color in here? Yeah, that's like a candy right there, like a candy coating resin color. I put orange in here. We'll talk about what I did to get that orange in a second. This is another one. This is less candy-like and more orange. I like this one actually. But these are the cups that I mix the resins in right here. This is the baking tray that I put the resin in. So you can see the resin is still like wet and liquidy at the bottom. The top only got hard, somewhat hard, because I put it in the UV baking machine I have over here. And that hardened the top up like within seconds. But the bottom stayed mushy. Now this is the cups, like I said, of resin, and it's hard all the way through. So maybe I'll do that next time when I want to harden a resin to see what it looks like. I won't do the Teflon tray. Maybe I'll just do some cups like this and cut them down to size because this hardened really quick. This has been going for over a day. This has been going for the same period of time, but I never put this in the baking machine. But that was put in the baking machine. It's still going. This is cured already and hard. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Super interesting there. Are you guys still with me? Are we still with me? Okay, all right. We're done. Okay, that's it. So, a couple of things I want to say about that, though, before we go. Whoa, it's getting hot in here. Holy cow, chat. The air just came on. It is getting so hot in here. That means that it's time to end the live. That's what that means. Anyway, so let's go to the chat before I talk about the couple things that I wanted to talk about with the coloring. Sheen says, I will be coming apart if my notes disappeared. Thanks for the reminder to back up. Yes, back up your notes. You don't want something out of that. I literally was on the couch. I'm never on the couch drawing. The one time I go on the couch to draw because Amy was out there watching something and she was like, oh, you should come out here and do some work. I'm like, all right, I guess I could bring the tablet out there and work. Lose everything. Anyway, Aaron says, your Note Air 4C just doesn't like you. It hasn't liked me since I've gotten it. It's never liked me. I don't think any of the Note series devices like me. I talk so much crap. I made a 3-video series about how much I hate the Note Air 3C. Ever since then, I've never had good luck with them. It's the karma I put out there. The Rock says, it might be because resin really needs to be stirred well. There might be less hardening in the poured resin than in the cup. I've done it a bunch of times too. Yeah, it's so crazy. There might be less hardener in the poured resin than in the cup. It's weird. I put it in the Teflon tray, and I put it in the UV machine, and the top of the resin started bubbling like it was cooking it. And it was, when I pulled it out, it was like warm. So the UV was cooking the resin. I'm never doing that again. Whenever I want to harden resin just for the, not printing, just for the sake of hardening it to see what the color is going to look like, I'm going to put that, I'm going to put it in a cup, stir it, and leave it. Just a little bit in a cup, stir it, and leave it. I save resin that way, save tint that way, or pigment, whatever. So lesson. The UV machine is not going to do anything for your plain unprinted resin. It works for your printed resin, but it doesn't work for unprinted resin. Just let that sit in the sun. That's your best bet. Just let that sit in the sun. It'll take about a day. You'll be good to go. Lesson learned from the resin. A couple more things learned from the resin too. So I've been trying to find ways to color the resin, and these are the things that I've learned while trying to figure out ways to color the resin. Is that actually? Can we go back? I actually have notes on my. I actually have notes on my Go 10.3 here. It hasn't failed me yet, so we're good to go on that. Oh, that's the wrong show. That was certainly the wrong show there. One of the things I learned was, can we get back to 131? Oh, chat. We just, I think this is it. All right, this is it, chat. All right, so one of the things I learned is UV light, what UV light does to raw resin. So I just explained that. If you put raw resin into a UV machine, the UV light is going to bake that resin and it's going to start boiling and the surface is going to be not flat. So if you want that, cool. If you just want to crisp and bake the top layer of it to see what it's like real quick, you can do that. It'll bake it, but it'll be warped in this form, but it'll at least make it hard for you. What coloring method to use? Now, there's a couple coloring methods, right? Let's talk about that. Pigment. We'll do resin pigment. So a couple of things I recognized when I went to go research coloring pigments, and that's that you can buy pigments for resin, and you can buy dyes like paints for resin. You can buy powder. You can buy the liquid stuff. Now you can buy acrylic. Now what I realize is for acrylic. For acrylic resin, acrylics are water-based and they have water in them. So if you're going to use acrylic-based pigments, you should use a little bit, sparingly, 10% or less if you're using acrylics for your resin. Because when it goes to cure, you're going to have that water in there and it's going to make curing times weird, and it's going to also make the curing process a little weird because of the water. So be careful how much acrylic pigment you use if you're going that route. Powder pigment would be the best way. I forgot what they call this stuff. Mica. There we go. Mica powder. Mica powder pigment is probably the best way to go for resins because you're not introducing any water or any other things that's going to harm your curing process. And for what I understand, you can get deeper colors this way. Now, what I'm trying to do is find out how to mute colors and make the colors milky. And that's when I came across something called alcohol dyes. I think it's called alcohol dye. Yeah, the alcohol dye. That's when I came across something called alcohol dyes that people who just they do resin arts. They just work with resin and hardening the resin with different designs inside the resin and all that. I'm not trying to do that, but I would like that milky, chalky, cloudy effect that they get in some of their coloring techniques. And what I learned is that alcohol inks can be used with regular mica pigments, even acrylic pigments, and add a milky-ish dulling effect to your color. And that's what I'm trying to get. So, resin coloring. You can use acrylic just sparingly because it has water in it. You don't want to introduce too much water. Mica powder is probably the best way to go. And there's some that come with mica powder already mixed, and some are just regular, the powder itself. You can also use paints, enamel paint if you want to. All these things can be used. Now, some are better than others, and your use may differ from print to print. But I think the safest way to do it, from what I understand, is mica powder. And and if you want that dulling effect, grab yourself some alcohol dye. we're going to use it. We're going to see what it does. I'll bring the results to you guys when I do it. I don't like those two oranges though, so I'm definitely going to try to go with a different orange. Maybe it's because of the actual resin, because I realized the same orange affected both of those resins differently. So I have two clear resins, one orange pigment, and both of those oranges came out differently. One looked like candy, and one looked like just a shiny orange. So one was more transparent than the other as well. So yeah, it depends on the resin. So different resins will act differently towards different pigments than others will. So lots of things to keep in mind, lots of variables that go into play. So yeah, that's what I've learned for 3D printing resin and trying to color it, is that you want to know what kind of coloring to use, and you also it depends on what resin you got, depending on what the color does. So the color might affect one brand of clear resin one way, another brand of clear resin a different way. Just got to test it out. Lots of testing. I think that's it. I think that